Hello, and welcome to this very special webcast training. I'm John Commuta. Thanks for joining me this evening. I really appreciate you giving us your valuable time, and I'm going to make it worth your while. Now, I'm a best-selling personal finance author, but if you've never heard of me, don't worry, I won't be hurt. I will be telling you my story as we go along. You want to pay close attention this evening because we're going to be giving away a brand new Kindle Fire later if you're the first one to correctly answer a question about something I'll be explaining during the presentation. But more importantly, it's the value of the information I'm going to be sharing. So this is a time for you to disengage. Put the cell phone on vibrate, shut down any chats that aren't directly associated with this program we're doing together tonight. Close down social media. Mostly because it uses bandwidth. And so it will adversely affect your the quality of what you're viewing of this presentation. So get those other things that sink a lot out of the way, close them down. And then shut the door and just tell your family that this is an important moment for all of you. So you're going to take a little time out and pay attention to this. This information is going to be very important to you. All right. The program is called How to Grow Your Wealth Tax-Free Without Stock Market Risks. Pretty straightforward. In this webinar, I'm going to tell you about a true wealth building secret of the rich, based on a process you almost certainly have never heard of before. Now, this presentation will help you if you want to get off the debt treadmill so you don't have to continue working until you die, using a system that will pay off your debts and build your wealth with the same dollars at the same time. This presentation will help you if you're concerned that even if you pay off your debts and invest your income, the markets may take it all away from you right when you need it. This presentation will help you if you're making good money, but you know the banks are getting wealthier on your money than you are. I'm also going to show you how to get a higher investment return than you can get anywhere else. Does that sound interesting? You can let me know in the chat. Anywhere along the way here, just tell me what you're feeling and what you're thinking in the chat, because it gives me the kind of feedback that I would have, and I'm looking over at my monitor over here, that I would have if we were doing this across your kitchen table. I want to know that we're engaged here. So here's my promise to you. I'll show you a system that, again, you've almost certainly never heard of that can get you to where working a job will be optional for you. That's the goal. I call it you-land, where you get to do what you want because you have all the options instead of all the have-tos. This will be a system that you will control, a system that will benefit you and those you care about most. Now, is that a bold promise? If you think it is, stick around and watch me keep it. If I keep my promise, do I have your permission to take 20 minutes, say, at the end to give you a great offer to consider? Because we want to make this really work for you. Now, if that sounds fair, just give me another yes in the chat, and I'll be encouraged to keep going for you. Now, I have a couple of free bonuses for you just for sticking with us until the end of this presentation. The first bonus, all the slides from this presentation. So everything you see while I'm teaching, and I am going to be giving you good information. I'm going to be teaching you tonight. All of those slides, you will get those for free at the end. So you don't need to write down every single thing I say. You want to probably catch the highlights and make some notes of those because of the Kindle Fire giveaway later, but you'll be getting all the slides. The other bonus is a tool called the Calculate Your Debt Payoff tool. You'll be able to quickly determine exactly when you can be completely debt-free. Plus, I remind you, our free giveaway, we're going to give away a brand new Kindle Fire during the Q&A. To win it, you just have to keep those important points in mind. So let us get to the presentation, and I will explain the system. So here we go. Why are we here today? We are here today because middle-class America is being financially squeezed. I mean, this is what motivates us. Average inflation-adjusted incomes have been stagnant or down for decades, while average debt loads are up. But that's just the average American's current month-to-month reality. We're going to focus on the reality that most people would like to slow down or stop working someday, a future reality. Whatever that might look like for you, it's going to take future income. So what are you doing to prepare? Well, about half of Americans are saving, and that's in quotes because it's really more like gambling, for retirement in a 401k, IRA, 403b, or other IRS plan. The other half are pretty much doing nothing to prepare for their futures. Now, Canadians use registered retirement savings plans. So if you're listening in from up north, that's what you use, but they pretty much work the same. So are they working? Well, NBC News says the great 401k experiment has failed for many Americans. CBS News, the 401k has failed. Let's admit it. Forbes, why 401ks have failed. See a trend here? All these tax-deferred qualified plans work the same way and fail the same way. How do we know? Because of the results. According to a study by the National Institute on Retirement Security, Americans are in aggregate $6.8 trillion shy of what they'll need to ever stop working. If we look at ages 50 to 64 in this study, they have an average of just $12,000 saved. Think about trying to retire. How long would you be able to live on $12,000? If we widen it out and look at younger people, 25 all the way up to 64, that average savings drops down to just $3,000. But the really scary part, 45%, almost half, have nothing saved. Zero. There are a couple of paychecks from insolvency. All of these numbers together say that 92% of us are short of what we'll ever need, and not by just a little bit, but by frightening margins. So what does this tell us? While Americans and Canadians say they expect to be able to retire someday, even early, most of them are not doing the things that can actually make that possible. They're fooling themselves. In fact, the middle class is actually shrinking. Middle-class Americans now comprise less than half of the nation's population. That's down from 61% back in 1971, according to a recent Pew Research Center study. But where are they going? The share of the population living in the upper income tier rose from 14% to 21% over the same period. Meanwhile, the share going into the lower income tier increased from 25 to 29%. Did you catch that? While America's middle class is indeed shrinking, 7% have found a way to move into the upper income tier, while only 4% fell into the lower income tier. What do the 7% know? There's obviously something the upwardly mobile 7% have figured out that the rest of the middle class either don't know or don't know how to implement. So we have two realities here. Number one, qualified plans and other retirement saving strategies are abject failures. Most people are not getting ready to stop working. Number two, at the same time, some middle-class people are not only figuring out how to survive, but how to thrive in their later years. That's where we come in. The plight of the middle class has been my personal burden and motivation for more than 25 years, and it's been the same for my partner, Anthony Manganello. It's what drives us every day. Over that time, we've had the privilege of helping millions of people learn how to stabilize their middle-class lifestyles and how to move into what Pew Research calls the upper income tier. If you'd like to learn how to move into the upper income tier, or at least not fall into the lower income tier, you're in the right place. And it doesn't matter what generation you're in, millennials, Xers, boomers. If you have a job or a business and you're building your life and you're neither rich nor in poverty, I believe I have your answers in this webinar. But let's start back before I had any answers. In fact, before I even knew the right questions. Back in the day, I thought financial independence was making a lot of money. If you made enough money, you could spend all the money you want, and you just had a good life. So along with some partners, I built a business that did pay me a lot of money each month. I lived what I thought was the American dream. Money in, money out, money in, money out. But then our sole supplier went out of business on a Friday, and we were out of business by Monday. That scared me. I eventually did find a job, but I wasn't getting ahead. That job didn't pay me what my business had been paying me. And I felt like a failure. Every morning I'd look in the mirror and think, what a loser. I felt out of control of my financial future. All I could do was fight from day to day. Does that resonate with you? I had thought I was building a successful life, but it was a life based on everything going right. That weekend, I learned that everything doesn't always go right. I was stuck. I was working hard at my job, but my sins were catching up to me. I was just paying for yesterday's purchases, and it seemed like an endless trail, and I had nothing left to put towards tomorrow. During that ordeal, I learned one of the most important facts of my financial life, and that is, this is not the whole picture, but this is important. Consumer debt is my enemy, and it's your enemy. When I used the bank's money, I became their investment, their servant. I was literally working for them. I was building the bank's wealth, not my own. When you use borrowed money, the creditor owns that portion of your income, just like they're a partner in your business, and they own it for years and decades into your future. You're working, but they own part of the income. So I became obsessed because I felt vulnerable to my creditors, and I was determined to break free from their leverage over my life as quickly as possible. So I built a system. It eventually got published as the Debt-Free and Prosperous Living Home Study course. But before it was published, Lois and I started using the system with 26 years left on our home mortgage, plus a typical assortment of other debts. Following this system, we were able to pay everything off, everything, including the house, in just 4 years, 7 months. We did it using nothing more than our job paychecks. We owned our home, we owned our vehicles, but more importantly, we owned our entire after-tax income each month. Now that peeled away layers of stress. We enjoyed our time with each other more. We had more time and energy to enjoy our children and eventually our grandchildren. So my debt elimination system worked. It worked a lot better than my original make and spend a lot of money system did. And I found that it worked for nearly everyone I showed it to. Most of them could pay off all their debts, including their mortgages, in about 5 to 9 years, depending on how creative they had been at getting into debt. So Debt-Free and Prosperous Living became so popular, I had to create my own publishing company. It was called Financial Independence Network Limited, or FINL. We grew so fast, we were selected to Inc. magazine's prestigious Inc. 500 list 3 times, which is hard because it's based on growth rate, which means we were growing faster and faster and faster. Now, my marketing manager back then was a young man named Anthony Manganello. Now he's my partner and co-instructor in the program I'm talking to you about today. After FINL, Tony branched out and started a business called Tower Legal Network, helping people settle their credit card debt. They served almost 4,000 clients, settled more than $40 million in debt, and had the highest client retention rate in the settlement industry at 96.4%. Meanwhile, my Debt-Free and Prosperous Living system evolved into the Transforming Debt into Wealth system. It was published by world-class publisher Nightingale Conant. It was advertised on satellite and local radio for nearly a decade, and it became the most popular and successful personal debt elimination and wealth building course in the world, which led to my conducting 13 worldwide seminars with a guy named Tony Robbins and his Wealth Mastery program. All these teaching opportunities allowed me to help more than 3 million people get on the road to a better financial life. Tony Manganello and I have worked together for more than 2 decades, and we have seen what works and what doesn't work with your money. And with all that we've learned over the years, the system I'm going to explain to you in this webcast revolutionized our personal financial lives and what we now teach to others. We can save you a lot of pain. You get to cheat. You get to take the shortcut that we took the long cut to learn ourselves. The shortcut to what we call the wealth curve. So what is the wealth curve? It's this pretty green line right here. It's where your wealth only grows with uninterrupted compounding. It's a beautiful thing. Unfortunately, this is the curve that qualified plans and other IRS type plans are on. This is not the wealth curve. The stock market is a casino. You don't want to put your life in the hands of the casino. So what difference would it make in your life? How would you feel if you knew you were on the wealth curve, securely on the wealth curve, where your wealth only and always went up? Stop and actually think about this. So I want to give you a second to wash that through your mind. You know, you don't have to worry. You don't have to listen to the news to see what happened to the stock market. You just know that your wealth is going up each and every day. And just write it in the chat. How would you feel? How would you feel if you knew that you were on the wealth curve? Now, without some kind of a plan to get you on the wealth curve, we already saw this, that there's a 92% chance you'll never be able to slow down or stop working. You'll be one of these folks with, in your later years, picking up shopping carts in the parking lot or passing out food samples at Costco, and that's what we don't want to see. We don't want that happening to you. If you don't do something, the banks and mutual fund managers will end up with most of your money, and this is tragic. And then eventually you'll die, which is one way to stop working. With a wealth curve plan, you can get to where your accumulated wealth can support you. You can stop working if you want. You end up with your money. Your money pays you. The banks end up with nothing of yours, and you can enjoy your money while you're alive. You don't have to die to stop working. Plus, with a dependable plan that can put you on the wealth curve, you can have a real shot at joining the 7% who are moving from the middle class to the upper income tier. Now, before we start, this presentation is going to be informational. I cannot make any promises about how the system will perform for you because I don't know how well you'll perform the system. Pretty straightforward. All right, let's get started. We're going to get into a system called 5 smart steps to get you on the wealth curve. Step 1, planning. Step 2, spending management. Step 3, cash accumulation and deployment. Step 4, debt elimination. Step 5, investing to build job optional income. And we're going to go through all of this in detail. And don't forget, you're going to get the handout with all of these slides in it. So you don't have to be feverishly writing as I fly through these important steps. So let's start with let's first of all start with what is job optional income, because I want to define that for you. Well, it's simple. It's when your wealth curve can generate enough income for you to live without a job. Now, you may love your job. You may want to stay there, but you will have that option. So let's get you on the wealth curve towards job optional income. It is a process. Step 1 in the process is planning. You have to develop a plan. I mean, it's like going on a road trip without a map if you don't have a plan. You just drive in any direction, doesn't matter. If you really want to get to a specific destination, you must have a plan. And that plan has to take a lot of things into consideration, and I'm going to give you that information. Step 2 is spending management. You cannot just spend indiscriminately without any kind of process or control to it, because then you waste a lot of money. And we don't want that, because we want to put the money into a cash accumulation and deployment platform that will allow you to use it most effectively for your future wealth. The first step in doing that is eliminating debts. Why? Because you're wasting a lot of money on debt payments. And if you can recover that, then you have much, much more to build wealth with, which is what we're going to talk about. And the next step is investing to grow your wealth. And then at some future point, that wealth can start paying you back what we call job optional income. So let's go through this process one step at a time. Step 1, planning. Your plan needs at least 3 data points. Point 1, the age at which you'd like your job to be optional. You pick it. You decide, I want to be able to stop working. I don't necessarily want to stop working, but I want to be able to by age, fill in the blank. Data point 2, your likely monthly income at that time. And we're looking for dependable monthly income, and preferably monthly income without you having to work at a job. That's the goal. And data point 3, your likely monthly expenses at that time. So to do a plan, you need at least this information. So let's look at these data points one at a time. What is your desired job optional income age? When do you want to be able to coast or take your foot off the accelerator? This is the age at which you want your wealth curve income to cover your expenses. So again, working at a job is optional. You may not want to leave your job, but you could because it's optional. Data point 2, what will be your income sources? Now, we want these to be dependable. Social Security, we'll talk about that. That's another dependable income source. And some people will tell you, oh, it's not going to be there after such and such a year. Yes, it will. They'll figure out a way to fix it. And then if you're lucky enough to have a pension, that is also a dependable income source. Or an annuity. If you have one of those, that's a dependable income source. All right, data point 3, estimate your job optional income date monthly expenses. In other words, if you say I'm going to retire in 10 years or at age X, what will your expenses be at that point? Now, these will mostly be the same types of expenses you have now, but you need to consider what debts will be gone. Will a house be paid off? Will your car be paid off? Will you downsize your home, your cars? This will change your expense picture. So you want to make sure that you are looking at what will it actually be like at that future point. And what will that leave you with each month? And that's what we're really trying to get to. You're looking to see if you'll have a projected job optional income date surplus, or will you have a gap? In other words, your income that you can count on out there will not be enough to cover the expenses you'll have out there. And if it's not going to be enough, what is your plan to close any gap by then? That's why we're talking about planning. You need to not go, oh, geez, and run around with your arms flailing all over the place. You need to have a plan. Your plan needs to include the exact steps to do this, from where you are now to a job optional income surplus. These steps need to be achievable by you, and they need to be believable to you. Because your greatest ally, believe it or not, in this process is your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind doesn't sleep. It provides you with dreams in the nighttime. Well, what is it doing when you're sleeping? What is it doing subconsciously when you're working throughout the day? It's working on stuff that you've told it is important. But if it doesn't believe that it can actually be achieved, it won't waste its time. So you need to set up a process that you can honestly believe is doable for you. Okay, write your plan on paper or on your computer because your brain leaks. You'll forget the steps if you don't have them documented someplace. Plus, your resolve fades. So you need to be able to go back and see the plan again and get yourself stoked back up. And you must remain accountable to your plan. Put milestones in there. You know, a year from now, I'm going to be here. 2 years from now, I'm going to be there. And then when you get a year out, you can say, hey, I'm on plan. That's what you need. So that's step 1, planning. Let's look at step 2, spending management. Your financial enemies don't want you to figure this out. You are being systematically manipulated into buying things you don't need. And you are being systematically manipulated into using credit to buy those things you don't need. Because banks want to own your future income. But if they own your future income, you won't be able to use it to build job optional income. You will be forced to work until you die. You need to fight back against this manipulation. You need a system that will help you spend with your brain rather than with your emotions. You need a system to protect a portion of your current income to build your future income. And you need a system that gives you feedback. To manage your spending, your brain needs to know the numbers and the trends. It needs to know your income and expenses because what gets measured gets done. So download and use an income and expense statement. It's just a spreadsheet. And Microsoft would like to give you one for free. You can go to templates.office.com and download an income and expense statement template for free. And they're elsewhere on the web as well. You can get templates. Also, keep an informal spending journal. This can be a little book or it can be on your phone. Track your cash expenditures. Those are the little buggers that can really hurt you. And then one of the types of expenditures that Tony talks about, which you would pick up in an income and expense statement, is what he calls stealth payments, which are those little $5.99 a month, $6.99 a month, $4.99 a month for all those online services. Those things can add up. You have to know where your money's going. That's step 2, managing your spending. Step 3, cash accumulation. You need a cash accumulation platform. Have you ever thought of it that way? A cash accumulation platform. You want an account that will both accumulate and grow your cash. Ideally, this platform should be risk-free and tax-free with guaranteed internal growth and restriction-free access to your money. And we'll talk about how that's possible. This also needs to be your cash deployment platform. This is the staging account from which you'll deploy accumulated cash. The money that you'll use for major purchases, for emergencies, for debt elimination, and for investments will come from this accumulation and deployment platform. You could use a bank savings account or CD, but growth rates are pitifully low. However, your money is relatively secure from capital loss, meaning that the money you put in won't go away. Unfortunately, growth in these accounts is taxable. So you're going to pay taxes on what little growth you do get. So this is your cash accumulation and deployment platform. Step 4 is the debt elimination phase. And this is really gives you leverage. This is powerful. Debt is just banks stealing your future. That's what's going on here. So use your accumulated cash from step 3 to systematically accelerate your debt payoff. Ideally, this system would grow the money you're using for debt elimination at the same time it's eliminating your debts. Is that possible? Yeah, I'll be showing you that a little bit later. Debt elimination is crucial to achieving job optional income. You cannot service a typical consumer debt load and build job optional income. Your monthly debt payments are the same dollars that should be building your job optional income streams for the future. Now, debt elimination is simple. It's as simple as 1, 2, 3. Stop increasing your debt. Leave the plastic in your wallet. 2, maximize your monthly margin. That's the money left over after you have paid necessary expenses each month. And then 3, focus your monthly margin on paying off your smallest to largest balance debts one at a time. You take your whole margin and you add it to the payment every month for the smallest balance debt until that debt is gone. Then you recover its monthly payment, add it into your margin, and roll it all onto the payment for the next smallest balance debt, and you pound on it till it's gone, and then you recover its monthly payment, roll it all onto debt 3, and so on until all your debts are gone. So how would you feel? Think about this. If you had no credit card payments, try to imagine no credit card payments, no car payments, no student loan payments, no department store payments, or other consumer debt payments. Feel that for a moment. Just close your eyes and feel debt freedom. What would it mean to you? Let me know in the chat what you would do if you were completely debt-free. Now, most people never let themselves think of this because they don't believe it's really possible for them. But I can tell you it is very possible. After helping millions of people over almost 3 decades, it is very, very possible to achieve this. So that's debt elimination. Now we move to step 5, safe investing. Banks know how to grow their money. Mostly they do it on your back, but they know how to grow their money. And so let's take a page from their playbook and invest in the same assets they do, like real estate, business loans and leases, education loans, vehicle financing. Stay away from paper investment markets like stocks and bonds. They come with capital risk. What is capital risk? The money you put in could go away. You could lose money that you actually put in, much less grow what's in there. And a lot of people have experienced that. You got to consider, why would you put that money at risk when your primary income source is already at risk? What am I talking about? Well, so many people say to me, I don't know if I want to venture into a business or whatever because I like the dependability of a good paycheck from a job, a dependable paycheck. Is it dependable? I mean, how many times have you heard on the news that some big company just laid off 10,000 people? Those 10,000 people went into work that morning thinking they had a good, dependable paycheck, and they walked out with a box with their belongings in it. So your primary income source is not dependable. In fact, you will probably lose your primary income source 2 or 3 times over your working life. Your 401k, IRA, 403b, etc., they're always at risk. Why? Because they're in the stock market. In almost every case, they're in the stock market through mutual funds. So seek investments with little to no capital risk. You want your job optional income funds to be there when you need them. So look for alternative investments. These are alternatives to the markets. Things like private equity funds, private lending, life settlement funds, structured commercial loans, bridge loans. These are all good investments that have nothing to do with the stock market, and they're backed by real, tangible assets, not just paper. So these are the 5 steps to job optional income. You have to have a plan. That plan will help you manage your spending so that you accumulate a margin. That margin accumulates in your cash accumulation platform, and then you deploy it first to debt elimination to recover all that money you're wasting on debt payments. And now you've got real cash flow to use to invest to grow wealth. And eventually that wealth pays you back in income streams, which make your job optional. This is how it works. You could go to a financial planner and spend thousands of dollars to just have them help you work through those 5 steps, and you'll do most of the work because you're the one with all the numbers. You know what the facts are. So you'll actually end up building it for yourself, but you'll pay them. Now, we have a Kindle Fire for 1 lucky winner plus 2 valuable bonuses for everybody who stays to the Q&A. So hang in there with me. One of the bonuses is a tool, by the way, that will help you calculate your actual total debt elimination timeline. So if the debt elimination piece is important to you, hang in there and you'll get a tool that'll help you work that out. The other bonus is all the slides from this presentation. So you will have all the 5 steps I just explained to you. And now, was that helpful? Did the 5-step job optional income process make sense to you? Give me a yes in the chat. Let me know we're good to keep moving. I want to know that that you're okay and we're good to keep moving, because I know I'm feeding you with a fire hose here. Now, I've taught you the 5 steps. You could create your own action plan. You could execute them. And if you do that and it's working for you, I really applaud you. But we've engineered a system that has been 2.5 decades in the making. And our system is really the cheat I talked about. It's the shortcut for you. So why is that important? Because systems are smarter than goals. Yeah, you want to get debt free. You want to get whatever. You want to lose 10 pounds. Yeah, everybody has goals. I mean, we just, not that long ago, we're making New Year's resolutions. Those are goals, but systems are better than goals. Goals are arbitrary destinations without the steps to actually get you there. Systems are the step-by-step process actions that, if followed, will get you to your goals and likely beyond them. Goals produce desire. Yay, I want to do this. But then frustration because it's just not working. Well, systems produce results. So this is the 5 steps on steroids. Our system is powered by a uniquely designed financial mechanism called a private family bank. Our system will accelerate your debt payoff and simultaneously build your wealth in an account that will only and always go up at a growth rate up to 20 times what banks pay in their accounts, with no market corrections, no crashes, no surprises. Our system can eliminate your debts and build job optional income with the same dollars at the same time. It can grow your money tax-free. Our system can give you tax-free use of your money for any reason while leaving the full amount growing in the account. You can self-finance your consumer purchases. You can self-finance your car purchases. It's way better than a 529 plan to save for college. Our system can instantly and dramatically increase your family's net worth. It can protect your money from lawsuits and judgments. Now, that varies a little bit by state. Our system can allow you to pass your money to your heirs tax-free. It can let you invest in any asset or strategy and give you a higher return than you could get any other way. Our system can put you on and keep you on the wealth curve. Can I describe this system to you? Do I have your permission? Because I asked for your permission earlier. I've already shown you the 5-step process to put you on the wealth curve. Now I want to show you how we've systematized and automated these steps. But before I go into our new system, I just need your okay in the chat to know that we're good to go. Now this is, while you're giving me your yeses and okays, this is not for everybody. Only people in the United States and Canada who want to completely change their financial life. There is a small investment, but I'm going to make it really, really easy for you. In fact, easier than it will ever be from now until the end of time. Our system is called the Smart Wealth System. S stands for S. This is the word SMART. S stands for start with a plan. M stands for maximize your accelerator margin. A stands for activate your private family bank. R stands for remove your debts. And T stands for transition to investing like a bank. Now, I'm going to be a really good teacher, and I'm going to tell you, look at these words carefully and remember, start, maximize, activate, remove, transition. Like I said, we're going to help you cheat. Okay, the Smart Wealth System is a 5-session course. Every session has 2 major sections, the primary lesson section and related bonus lessons and tools. Plus, there are weekly online classroom webinars. These are live, where we review, and by we, I mean me and Tony, review course content and answer your questions live. So let's look at the 5 sessions. Session 1, start with a plan. We will take you through a planning process that will give you a clear picture of where your current financial trajectory is taking you by your selected job optional income age. This is the diagnosis stage of the Smart Wealth System. If your current trajectory shows you will not have more income than expenses out there at the age you want to stop, the rest of the Smart Wealth System course will focus on turning this income gap into a surplus. If, on the other hand, your current trajectory in the plan shows you will have more income than expenses by that age, the rest of the Smart Wealth System course will focus on growing that income surplus into an even larger and more dependable mountain of job optional income. So let's look at the lesson. Tony and I teach the lesson on video, streaming on the web. You will get login credentials to go into the course portal, and you'll see the whole course when you get in there. And you can go to any one of the lessons, and we will stream the training on video, and we have a good time on the video, and so will you. Have a good time going through it with us. We also give you the audio of the video so that you can review that, and it's downloadable. You can stream it from the page, or you can download it and put it on your phone or any other device that will play an MP3 file. Now, the lesson documents that come with session 1, you get all the slides from the presentation. So again, you don't have to have a great memory or a fast note-taking hand. Plus, you get a worksheet where you follow along with us while we're teaching. In this case, it's the Start with a Plan lesson worksheet. You also get a document called the Job Optional Income Living Expense Projection Excel spreadsheet. This is an Excel spreadsheet, a spreadsheet that works on your computer that we will reference in the training, and this is the tool that will help you project your future expense picture at your job optional income date. Session 1 is a great start to the planning process, but I got to thinking, following a financial plan to a desired outcome requires personal performance principles most people have never been properly taught. So I thought I should share what I've learned about them. So your session 1 bonuses start with an audio lesson, and this is a complete training. It's 50+ minutes. It's called The Laws of Success. This lesson reveals 15 bedrock principles that, if acted on, can pretty much guarantee your success in whatever you focus them on. They're at the root of all success. You also get another audio lesson, and these are downloadable or streamable. It's called The Laws of Achievement. This lesson examines 12 fundamental achievement truths. If you've bothered to establish any goals for your life, following these time-tested rules will lead you to their accomplishment. These things alone will help you on your job. Whatever you're doing, they're going to give you insights on how to be more successful in whatever you're pursuing. You also get another tool called your Average Job Optional Income Day PDF tool. This will help you determine how expensive a lifestyle you will plan on living after you want your job to be optional. So in other words, how expensive will your life be in your job optional income year so that you can figure it out and plan your future expenses. You also get the post-employment lifestyle to-do list. Now, this tool will help you list the things you'll get to do, not the things you'll have to do in your job optional income years. So that's a lot. And it was just session 1. Session 2, maximize your accelerator margin. This session will give you the most visibility you've probably ever had into the spending side of your current financial situation. We will use both psychological and mathematical tools to reshape your spending management so you can maximize the amount available for the next step in the Smart Wealth System. You will feel the confidence of finally being in complete control of your money. If your session 1 plan shows that you will have an income gap, not enough to cover your expenses of retirement, this session will show you how to start closing that gap to solidify your financial future. If, on the other hand, you're going to have a surplus out there, this session will dramatically increase the cash flow your Smart Wealth System can focus on exploding your job optional income. So the lesson section of session 2 comes again, Tony and I on video streaming to you, plus you get the audio of the video training to download or stream. Plus, you get lesson documents, all the presentation slides, and the Maximize Your Accelerator Margin lesson worksheet to follow along with us during the training. Plus, you get a very powerful tool, the Income and Expense Statement Excel Workbook. This is much more than a spreadsheet. It is a multi-tab Excel workbook that will literally track every dollar of your household income and expenses, whether those expenses are monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, annually, periodic, on whatever. It will track it, and then it automatically summarizes everything to a summary page so you can get snapshots at the end of every month, and you will know exactly what your margin is every single month. But lesson 2 got me to thinking. If maximizing your accelerator margin is that important to achieving job optional income, and it is, then we should provide you with some additional portable, easily reviewable training to help you do just that. So your session 2 bonuses start with an audio lesson called Finding Your Accelerator Margin. This audio lesson takes you on a tour of all the places money can be leaking out of your life, money that could be building your wealth. You'll be surprised by some of them. Plus, you get an audio lesson called Manage Your Spending to Maximize Your Accelerator Margin. This streamable or downloadable audio lesson unveils manipulations used on you by the marketing industry so you can make buying decisions with your brain rather than your emotions. This one revelation could free up a lot of money that could be better focused on building your job optional income. Session 3, Activate Your Private Family Bank. Here's the power. This session unveils the private family banking concept, the platform from which you will pay off your debts, if you have any, and build your wealth using the same dollars at the same time. This is the engine that powers the Smart Wealth system. Your private family bank helps you reduce both your current and future expenses and increases your future income. So it closes your job optional income gap by moving both the income and expense levers. The private family bank is a truly unique tool that is quietly being used by America's richest families and biggest companies, including most banks, to safely, predictably, and powerfully build their wealth in a tax-free environment. And it's not in any bank account. In this session, we do much more than just tell you what a private family bank is. We unpack how to start your bank, how to grow it, and how to use it, and we'll actually help you do that. This is a how-to training. This is important. A true private family bank platform is only available in the US and Canada. This is because of differences in tax laws and insurance regulations. It's not my fault. Okay, session 3, we teach the lesson, again, Tony and I, on video and audio. You get all the slides, and you get the worksheet to follow along with us during the training. But lesson 3 got me to thinking a bit. At the root of most people's financial limitations is their mode of thinking about money. This mode comes largely from your experiences growing up. So I figured I'd better climb into your head and expand your thinking. So your session 3 bonus is an audio lesson called Your Mind's Money Box. In this lesson, I expose a mental blueprint that confines most people to a lower economic reality than they're capable of. I go on to explain how to redraw your blueprint, freeing you to achieve and enjoy more financial rewards than you may now be able to even dream of. Are we doing okay? I know I'm giving you a lot. Chad, just give me a yes, hit a bunch of X's. I don't care. As long as I want to know you're still with me, because I'm giving you a lot of stuff. I'm giving you information fast, but I want to respect your time, and that's why I'm moving along briskly here. And I'll have a special offer for you before we start the Q&A to make the Smart Wealth system easily accessible for you. So here we go. Session 4, remove your debt. This is something Tony and I know a lot about. We've been teaching it for decades. This session shows you how to use your private family bank to pay off your debts. Now, using your private family bank as the platform for this step means this is different from what I told you in the 1, 2, 3 steps. This means that every dollar going through your bank to pay off your debts actually stays in your bank, earning interest and dividends up to 20 times what regular banks pay. Sounds magical. I call it the magic bean. Since this growth is tax-free, it's on par with what the average stock market investor normally earns after taxes. And debt elimination reduces both your current and post-employment expenses, further closing your job optional income gap and increasing your future wealth. Again, in the lesson, Tony and I teach on video and audio. You get the slides and you get the worksheet to follow along with us. And in session 4, you get the debt prioritization spreadsheet in Excel and as a PDF form if you want to do it on paper. And this is the form that helps you prioritize your debts in the payoff order that's optimal, and we teach that in the lesson. But session 4 got me to thinking. If you've been using debt to finance your life and your lifestyle, you may not fully comprehend the scope of how this undermines your ability to ever achieve job optional income. So I thought I should explain it to you. So your session 4 bonuses start with an audio lesson called Debt, Your Biggest Obstacle to Wealth. This lesson exposes just how destructive carrying debt is to your ability to ever build job optional income. You can either make debt payments or build wealth. Pick one. Another audio lesson you get as a bonus is Whose Wealth Are You Building? Now, this lesson goes into more detail on the league of industries we call the Coalition of Four. This marketplace, powerful marketplace consortium shrewdly diverts most of the money you produce in your life into their bank vaults rather than into your own. Now, if this is starting to sound like a lot, this program is designed to be consumed 1 session per week. If you want to jump in the deep end, you'll be able to, as I said earlier, access all 5 sessions immediately when you get the course. However, the live online classroom webinars with me and Tony will only be conducted once a week. Session 5, Transition to Investing Like a Bank. This session examines how you can invest in the same kind of assets that banks invest in, like real estate, vehicle financing, college education loans, businesses, home remodeling projects. These things sound familiar? That's because when you borrow money to do these things, you are the bank's investment. They also invest in other low-risk, high-return, asset-based investments, and we teach those in the course. Notice real estate and businesses, by the way, in this investment asset class grouping. Rental real estate and a business of your own can produce income streams independent of your job. They produce job optional income streams. So we talk about this as a couple of ways that you can enhance your job optional income picture when you get to that date when you'd like to stop working. And when you use your private family bank to invest in these asset classes, all the dollars you use for these investments will continue earning interest and dividends inside your bank at the same time. So what happens to all that money staying and growing in your private family bank? Well, it too can be turned into an ongoing, dependable wealth curve income stream whenever you want. You can also easily use funds from your bank to invest in any other asset you feel comfortable with, like if you like to invest in options or precious metals or art, whatever other investments you understand. And you should only invest in things you understand, by the way. This is a platform for investing, not necessarily an alternative to investing in other things. This is a platform for investing, and it's giving you a return on the money that you stored there to invest. And even after you've invested it, it's still in there growing for you. So session 5, the lesson comes the same way as the previous lessons, Tony and I on video and audio, and you get the downloadable audio, you get the slides, and you get the worksheet to follow along during our training. But lesson 5 got me to thinking. If you're going to invest to achieve job optional income, you need to think like a wealth builder. So I thought I should give you the advantage of knowing the principles that successful wealth builders apply. So your session 5 bonuses start with an audio lesson called The Laws of Wealth Creation. This lesson unpacks 11 foundational principles to successful wealth building. If you just get these critical truths down inside you, your actions will begin to draw you towards money and money towards you. You also get an audio lesson called Investing in Real Estate. This lesson is a step-by-step guide to operating a single-family home rental real estate business. It's a detailed overview that makes sure you consider every important aspect of investing in rental real estate, from analyzing properties before you make an offer to building your support team of experts. Plus, you get some bonus tools. You get a personal balance sheet. Why do you need a balance sheet? Because it tells you how wealthy you are. A balance sheet produces a number called your net worth. Your net worth is the numerical expression of your financial wealth. So we give it to you both as an Excel spreadsheet and as a printable PDF worksheet, so you can do it on paper. We also give you a sample private bank business loan document set and sample business loan amortization schedule. Why do we give you these? Because if you loan money from your private family bank to a business of your own or to some other business to have them pay you interest, the business needs to put certain documents in their corporate record book to make it legal for them to deduct the interest when they pay you back. So we give you those documents. Now, this is a system. This is a system to help you get there. You start with a plan. We take you through the planning process, and you have the plan with you when you're done. Then we teach you to maximize your accelerator margin, and this is a critical step. We really, through the online teaching and the downloadable lessons, I mean, you get a PhD in maximizing your margin and spend and real controlled spending management so that you have money left over each month to accumulate in your private family bank. You activate your bank in step 3. And again, we will help you do that if you want to do that. Then you use that accumulated money, you deploy it from your bank to remove your debts, which frees up gobs more money, and all of that ends up being deployed into investments, but not just any investments. The same kinds of investments that banks make into real assets that are dependable and not as risky as the markets are. And then finally, those assets begin to pay you job optional income. This is the systematized way to get there. So there are your 5 Smart Wealth System sessions. That mean I'm done? Not exactly, because Tony and I decided we wanted to give you a bonus session to bring it all together, to pull all the other 5 sessions together and close any job optional income gap you might have out there. So this is a complete 6th session, including video and audio lessons, handouts, and bonuses, bringing all the tools of the previous 5 sessions to bear on making sure your post-employment income streams will add up to more than your post-employment living expenses. So you get the lesson with Tony and me on video and audio, you get the slides, and you get the worksheet. But lesson 6 got me to thinking, if I'm going to ask you to consider making bigger life changes to allow you to enjoy job optional income, then perhaps I should give you a teaching on just that. So I will. We're going to give you an audio lesson called Redesign Your Life. This lesson takes you outside your life plan box to explore other lifestyle and location possibilities. You may well find a more desirable retirement life or even current life in a less expensive area, possibly even doing something much different from your current occupation. And then I had yet another thought. If you'd like to take some steps to increase your income to help you build wealth and close any job optional income gap, there are several ways you can do that. So I thought I should explain them to you. So you get another audio lesson called How to Increase Your Income. This powerful lesson examines your realistic options for increasing your primary income stream and adding additional income streams. From strategies for getting a raise, to changing employers, to changing careers, to starting a business of your own, this lesson helps you determine what would work best for your present and future life. A career change checklist. The key steps you need to take if you decide to change careers are on this checklist. You also get a second income evaluation spreadsheet. This spreadsheet will help you determine whether a second household income will really improve your cash flow. Sometimes it doesn't. Plus, you get a special bonus, a free, personal, one-on-one, live, really real-time private family bank consultation. If you decide you want to investigate a private family bank, Tony or myself or one of our 3 other team members who do this will talk with you one-on-one personally, and you can find out how much your job optional income your private family bank could build for you by your job optional income age, and you can find out how rapidly you could pay off your debts through your private family bank. So, okay, now I'm actually done. That's the Smart Wealth System course. So let's hear from a few people actually using the Smart Wealth System. Here's Lori. She says, with the Smart Wealth System, I feel very confident. There are bonus videos with each session that teach you how to reduce your expenses, achieve professional success, and detailed advice on ways to invest your money. For anyone who is striving for financial security and for work being optional in the future, I recommend this program most highly. Henrietta says, I want this knowledge to be shared with every young person out there. Let's stop giving our money to high credit cards, high auto loans, student loans, and start paying ourselves for the things we need like car, house, education, while securing our financial future for retirement. I do not want to have to work for the rest of my life. I want to be able to set a retirement date when I want. That is the beauty I saw in this system. It's a smart way to build financial security. The process was simple and easy to grasp because I already have the mentality of investing in myself first. Do it for you as I have done it for me. Dave says, I had to change my retirement strategy because what I was doing was not working. The standard 401k wasn't working. I was saving, but I wasn't getting out of debt. I lost a lot of money in 2008 and credit card debt increased substantially. I wish I had done this when I was younger. Don't we all? And we have Andrew here. Now, this is an excerpt from an email Andrew sent me on a day when our friendly neighborhood S&P 500 dropped. The stock market dropped 1,000 points that day. It was actually the Dow that dropped 1,000 points. So Andrew's email said, thank you for your advice and your help with our savings plan. Many of my coworkers were concerned all day about the plunge of today, and I was able to simply relax. Thank you again. And Becky says, if you decide to give the SMART program a try, we're pretty sure you won't be disappointed. We weren't and still aren't. The program is a magnificent, life-changing, and practical approach to financial freedom. And like many other people have said before us, we wish we would have found this program sooner. So just imagine, with the Smart Wealth system, you can be rapidly paying off your debts, and instead of just sending extra dollars to your creditors, every debt elimination dollar will be simultaneously staying in your private family bank to build your wealth for the rest of your life. If you don't have any debts, imagine every dollar you put into the system giving you a guaranteed internal return, plus you can use money from your bank to make outside investments while the money actually stays in your bank, earning interest and dividends. SMART is a lifetime financial system. It's not just about paying off debts. It's not just about becoming your own financing source for cars, home remodels, vacations, child, grandchild educations, healthcare costs, and so on. It's not just about building a job optional income stream. It's not just about instantly creating a large and growing estate to pass on to your heirs. It's all of the above. The Smart Wealth System course will clarify and focus your finances on eliminating any debts while simultaneously growing your private family bank's money pool that you control and can access at any time for any reason. And it will help you build additional wealth through safe, secure investments backed up by real assets, not just monthly statements. And it's a generational wealth system. The Smart Wealth System course will give you a template to pass on to your heirs and the private family bank mechanism to pass on to your heirs. You won't just leave them money when you pass, you'll leave them a financial system they can follow to multiply that money. But time is of the essence. To manage class size for the live online classrooms, this offer is only going to be available till midnight, Sunday, Pacific time. If you don't take this offer, you'll have to wait for the next class and you may/will have to pay a higher price. So what is the price? Well, let me put the value in perspective first. Thousands of people paid an average of about $3,000 each to attend the Tony Robbins Wealth Mastery programs I taught. And thousands of people paid an average of about $4,000 each for transforming debt into wealth coaching. If the Smart Wealth System, and this is real life, if the Smart Wealth System could help you reduce your monthly expenses by, say, $850, what is that? A couple of car payments, a credit card or two? Doable. That would improve your cash flow by $10,000 a year less that you would have to pay out every year. Now, add to that, if the Smart Wealth System could build enough wealth to generate $10,000 in a year in additional income, also very doable. That would increase your net job optional income by $20,000 every year, not just once. Now, that's the real results value of what we teach. But let's just consider the value of what's in the SMART course. In fact, let's just consider the live online classroom webinars. These are 90-minute, 60 to 90-minute live webinars where you get unlimited access, an hour and a half of me and Tony live with you. Now, wealth coaches and financial advisors routinely charge $200 to $500 an hour or $1,000 per review session. Well, let's give you a 2-for-1 sale, two of us for the price of one. And we'll just say, even though you could come forever and ever, that you only do 6 of these online classrooms. That's a $6,000 real world value. And this $6,000 doesn't include the value of all the other educational components of the course, the 6 teaching lessons on video and audio and the slides and the handouts and the spreadsheets and 17 bonuses, downloadable audio lessons, PDF printable tools and spreadsheets. Or the special bonus, a free personal one-on-one consultation if you're interested in a private family bank where you can find out how much job optional income your bank could build you by your job optional income age and how rapidly you could pay off your debts through your private family bank. This is priceless. Can't even put a price on that. Of course, you won't pay anything like the $20,000 potential results difference this course could make in your life, even though that's real, or even the real $6,000 value of unlimited sessions with me and Tony. The Smart Wealth System course is $497. And that is a great deal. It really is. But Tony and I want to make it irresistible this time around for you because we know how this course could change the future for you and those you care about. So if you're ready to act and take charge of the rest of your financial future, I will give you a $200 quick action discount today. By today, I mean until midnight Sunday. But when this is gone, it's gone. And trust me, at midnight Sunday, the offer on the web goes away. Actually, probably at about 11:59. So special today, $297 for everything I just spent the last half hour explaining to you. And that is a lot of information and a lot of wisdom that we've gained over the years. So let me give you a little perspective on that $297 price. My daughter's an accountant. One of her college textbooks cost her $380 for a book. You get this entire course for $297. So now you can see why I said the price will increase in the future, because taking $200 off $490, even the $497 is crazy. So this is a crazy opportunity. Take it. But if $297 is a stretch for you right now, you can make 3 payments of just $107. That's $107 today, $107 in 30 days, and $107 30 days after that. So 60 days from now. And even these low prices come with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So let us mentor you. In the Smart Wealth System course, you'll be learning from 2 people who have dedicated nearly a combined half-century to researching and teaching personal finance strategies that actually work for normal people. We've helped millions of people worldwide. We can save you a half-century of mistakes. How much would you pay to save even 1 year of wasted time with your finances? An order button should be showing up right now over there by the chat. By applying this system, you could pay off all your debts if you have them, keep the same dollars growing in your private family bank, and build tens to hundreds of thousands in retirement savings or more, and instantly increase your estate's net worth. You could save to educate your children, know their education will be paid for, even if you die before you've saved enough. You could boost the return on any investment and add thousands to your retirement income stream. So click the Get Smart Now button and build job optional income. Make 1 low payment of $297 or 3 lower payments of only $107. You can use a credit card or PayPal, including PayPal's credit option. Here in the US, PayPal offers a credit option, which is 60 days, no interest. So you use their money for 60 days without it costing you any interest. And don't forget the special today, or at least till midnight Sunday, $200 quick action discount. If you don't take this offer, you'll have to wait for the next class, and you will almost certainly have to pay a higher price. But more importantly, you'll delay your arrival at job optional income. Back in the day when I focused on debt elimination as the main thing, I calculated out an average typical person with an average typical debt load and average typical investments. And I was able to show that the wealth they would have by age 70 would be decreased by $429 for every day they delayed starting. That's how important starting is. So at $429 a day, or anything close to that, you can delay as many days as you can afford, I guess, but I wouldn't want to waste any of those. And if you're not happy, we will give you your money back. Tony and I do this to help you have a better financial life, not to diminish it. So if you don't think your financial life has been improved by the course, we don't want your money. You won't even have to talk to a human. Just send us an email and we will quickly process your refund. But you might be thinking, what if I might not be available at the scheduled live webinar times for the online classrooms? Well, we record those and we archive them in your portal where you get your logon credentials, your username and password, you log in, where you get your lessons and everything. There's also the archive of all the online classrooms, not just the last one, but all the previous ones. Plus, right after each online classroom, within about an hour, a link goes out with a replay. So, even if you miss it by a little bit, you'll be able to catch it very, very quickly right after that. Okay, how about I'm too old? All right, I will tell you my personal story. I started my private family bank when I was 63. So, and I'm 67 now. Okay, so that'll give you some idea. So 63 was not too old. And I'm not really sure there is a too old, and here's why. Because we have what we call a legacy application for this, that even if you're thinking it might be late for you, it's not too late for your family. And we can show you how to put the private family bank together so you are the banker, you have the money, you control the money, you can spend the money, you can invest the money, you're the banker. But it's actually being set up on one of your children, for example, and it's designed to cascade down to their next generation and set it up with them to cascade down to your grandkids, your great-grandkids, and so forth, because we want to help you build a legacy of wealthier and wealthier progeny as your family goes down through the years. So there is really no too old. How about I don't know anything about investing? Well, that's great. We teach you investing in the course, and we don't teach you what I call the chuck and hope system, where you chuck money into a 401k and hope it goes up. We teach you how to make really less scary investments in real assets. So you're going to learn it in there. How about I don't have any money to work with to build wealth? Well, sessions 2 and 4, and actually 1, 2, and 4 show you how to find money to build wealth and eliminate debts to get even more money back from those payments to build wealth with. So we'll help you find it. How about I don't have the money for the Smart Wealth course? This is an objection if it's happening inside of your head that isn't really legitimate. And here's why. If I was sitting here with a gold bar that was worth $10,000 and I said, you know what, I'll sell you this gold bar for $297. You would turn the sofa upside down and shake it. You would turn your kids upside down and shake them. You would find $297. So it's not the price, it's the value. So if you see the value in this, find the $297. It'll make much more than that difference in your life. And if you don't agree with that, you can get a refund. So, what's the risk in the end? How about I already know about investing? Fabulous. We show you how to make more from your investments than you're currently making from your investments. So don't miss this. The people who take action now will be growing their job optional income. As Tony Robbins puts it, the number one key to success is the ability to take action. So take action. Click the Get Smart button now. And so now, while you're doing that, it'll open in another window. So don't worry, you will hear everything that's going on here. But get over there now and just start that process of getting the Smart Wealth System course for yourself. So now we're going to do the quiz to give away a Kindle Fire. So let me first of all get back on the camera so you can see my smiling face. And I can tell you that here's how you win the Kindle Fire. Tony is over there off camera and he is in mission control and he's watching the chat. And the first person who correctly types in the answer to this question wins the Kindle Fire. So here's the question. What does the R in SMART stand for? What does the R in SMART stand for? The Smart Wealth System. Remember, it was S, SMART, start with a plan. M, maximize your accelerator margin. A, activate your private family bank. R, so whoever comes, There, Suzanne. Good job, man. You know, it was good that I helped. I gave you that little cheat at the beginning, wasn't it? Because in previous webinars, we've had people all over the map. You know, this would have been Racine, Wisconsin, or something would have been the first guess. So now, remove your debt. Absolutely, Sharon, you were right there. It was Suzanne, unfortunately, won by a nose. So Suzanne, congratulations. You are now the proud new owner of a Kindle Fire. Tony will be getting in touch with you and getting the information so we can get that right to you. And so we're happy that you were able to do that. And so now we want to move along and do Q&A. We have some time. We don't want to take your whole night, but I will stay here until I've answered the very last question. So out of all that stuff that I kind of ran at you with, you know, if you have any question about any of it, seriously, ask it right now in the chat. And down at the bottom of the chat where that little balloon is down there where it says write your message here, if you click on the balloon itself, it'll pop open something that allows you to select a chat comment or a question. If you select question, it's easier for us to see because it comes up in a different colored box. But either way, we'll find your question. So if you want to know anything about the private family bank, if you want to know anything about the process of removing your debts, if you want to know anything about the investments, now is the time to ask. Or anything about the course itself. Be happy to answer. So we'll just wait. Okay, Derek. Okay, wants to know about the private family bank system and what type of vehicle is used. Okay, good question. And let me, after talking for more than an hour, let me take a sip of coffee here. It'll be cold, but it'll be good. Okay, Derek and everybody else, you know, we kind of hinted at it when I said it has to do, it's in the US and Canada only because of insurance regulations and tax code. Okay, so we use an insurance platform to do this. And why? Because we tried a pest control contract and it just wouldn't work. The insurance contract has special favor in the tax code. Okay, that's the primary reason. And because it offers mechanisms that allow us to use the money without actually taking the money out, it's crazy good. And the money grows at a rate that is way better than what you'll find in a bank, and it's growing tax-free. You get to use it tax-free. It passes on to your heirs tax-free. So because of this, this platform was the best platform to build this on. Now, what we do with this insurance platform, and it's really a whole life insurance contract. Now, the whole life's gotten a bad rap from some people, and they're wrong. They're absolutely wrong about this. But what we do, some of their criticisms might be off-the-shelf whole life policy. That's not what we do. We are licensed, and I'm licensed in 26 states. I do this stuff for people, and what we do is we take what we believe to be the best whole life policy available out there for building cash value, which is your bank inside the policy. And we make modifications to that policy that seriously accelerate the building of cash value. And so it ends up working as a bank, but it also has, again, all the tax benefits of a qualified whole life insurance plan, and it has the death benefit, which we don't accent. It's not the reason we're doing this. We're doing this for the banking piece. But the death benefit is an instant increase in your net worth. So we call that your loved one's bank, and the cash value is your bank. So you get to use this. It's a living benefits. You get to use it while you're alive, and it's way good. You know, if you're going to invest, if you're going to pay off debts, anything, make major purchases, that money has to come from somewhere. This is the best somewhere to put that money before you deploy it into anything else. So that's what we use. It is a mutual life insurance company whole life insurance policy. And we use the benefit of a mutual company is it's owned by the policyholders, not by stockholders out there somewhere. And so all the benefits accrue to the policy owners. That's us. And the staff at headquarters works for us. I'll even tell you what company we use. We use principally Lafayette Life Insurance Company in Cincinnati, Ohio. They're in the Western and Southern Insurance Group, the third highest rated insurance group in America. And they are right up there with New York Life and Mass Mutual, and they're they're 110 years old. They've made a profit every one of the 110 years. And that includes the Great Depression and 2 world wars. They're very solid. It's safe. The money is safer there than it would be in a bank. Way safer, by the way. Okay. Okay, Suzanne, if you're in Canada, we can help you in Canada. I'm not personally licensed in Canada, but we have a partner in Canada who can help you. So yes, is the answer to that question. Anybody else have a question or a, next step in somebody else's question? Meanwhile, more cold coffee. Yeah, we need to get some iced coffee. That would be good. Actually, room temperature liquid is best if you're doing a lot of talking. This is a very cool concept, and don't let the insurance thing put you off. This is, seriously, I mentioned this, rich people use this. One of the questions, probably the most frequent question we hear is, how come I've never heard of this? Let me tell you why. You've never heard of it because when we make the modifications to help you have one of these private family banks, we reduce our potential commission from the policy by more than 60%. And where does that money go? It goes into your cash value. So how many insurance professionals do you know who are looking for a way to reduce their commissions by more than 60%? Probably zero. I think that's a pretty safe guess. And their bosses who get their overrides based on the salespeople's commissions don't even want their people knowing they can do this because they don't want them to know anything that will reduce commissions because everybody's overrides are based on those commissions. So it is the best kept secret because there's nobody in the insurance sales force that has any incentive to tell anybody about this. So why do rich people know about it? Well, because their financial advisors are already making gobs of money. They're going away with wheelbarrows full of money from their clients for all the other financial products that they've sold them. So it's no skin off their back to bring them this, which won't make the advisor quite as much. In fact, more than 60% less, but they've already made a lot of money from them. So they bring them this really good for the client concept. And the rich people use it. As a matter of fact, the current regulations that we have to maneuver inside of were put on the books because rich people back in the early 1980s were shoveling money into these policies because they were the best place to put them. Who else puts money in these? U.S. banks, the bank on the corner, U.S. banks, the biggest names, the Wells Fargos, the Chases, the Bank of America, have collectively more than $140 billion in these life insurance contracts. They're called BOLI, B-O-L-I, bank-owned life insurance. They have the policies on their top executives, but they're really there to pour money into. One banker said, it's our highest return investment, basically. And so they know the value of this. So the people with real money are doing this. And we're trying to give people that don't have the big bucks the same advantages as the people who have the big bucks. Is there work to do to set up we do the work. And you know how much we charge you? Nothing. We do what we do. We don't charge you. There's no fees for you. The first money you would pay is your first premium. And what is your premium? It's really a contribution into your bank. It's capitalizing your bank. It's like making a contribution into a 401k. It's just the money you put in to begin capitalizing that bank. And so that's the first money that comes from you. Everything before that, we just do it for you. We're compensated what compensation we get from the insurance company. So that's how that works. And it's not a ton of work. I mean, we have usually 2 to 4 conversations along the way. And that helps us work out exactly how the bank will work for you and what size bank you want. That's really what it is. So,
did you answer that one?
the work needed to start the bank. Yeah, that's what I just finished.
Is there a certain amount needed to set up?
Oh, amount of money. I thought we were talking about work. Okay. Excuse me. I've been talking for almost an hour and a half. The answer is, for practical purposes, a minimum contribution would be about $300 a month. So, I mean, we could go down to $250, but it won't work as well for you at that point. And really, here's the main point is, this is an account that should be accumulating wealth for you. So at $300 a month, you're going to put away $3,600. You're going to be putting $3,600 a year in there. And I mean, even if you just piled it up in the corner, $3,600, it might be enough to pay off a credit card. But I mean, that's not retirement money. So we really try to help people find that much or more to put in, simply because you want to accumulate wealth. And you can get at this money anytime. When you make a premium payment, the part of that premium that goes into cash value, which is the majority of the money from the very first premium, and pretty rapidly, all of the money you put in a premium is going right into your bank. That money is available within 21 days, plus all preceding premiums. So there's no long period of holding or any of that kind of stuff. So there's not a long time. So the amount would be $300 a year. But I mean, it could be $100,000. We could work with that. It doesn't matter. Any number. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Tony just reminded me, of course, that one way to free up more money for premium, which is money that simply goes like from one account of yours into another account of yours, your private family bank, pay off debts. If you can't get to that $300 amount, use the 1, 2, 3, use the calculate your debt payoff form that I'm going to tell you how to download here in a bit, and use that to eliminate debts. And as you recover those payments, when you get out of debt, all of a sudden you got $300, $400, $500 a month. Okay, now you can start building your bank with that. So whether or not you've got that right now, we need to talk, because I mean, we can help you get there. But the 1, 2, 3 get out of debt thing will help you pay off debts directly to free up money for capitalizing a bank. Okay. Derek, is it a mutual whole life? Yep. Will we learn how to modify the policy? You don't need to do anything. We do it all. We do all the modifications. You just use it. And let's say that you've got money in there. Let's say you got $10,000 in there and you want $5,000 to go on a vacation. Okay. So what do? This is like going to PayPal to get money out of your PayPal account. You log into your policy online and you type in 5000, hit submit, and within 3 to 5 business days, you have $5,000. No application, no proving to anybody that you're going to. Okay. So then about a month later, you'll get a form from the company that says, you just took out $5,000. Here are 3 proposed repayment plans. You just pick whatever one feels comfortable to you. It might be 3-year, 5-year, 7-year, something like that. You just start making the payments. But what if, oh, hey, the refrigerator broke. Sure could use some of that payment money to buy the refrigerator. Well, you just stop making payments for a couple of months. Nobody will call you. Nobody will write to you. Nobody will report you to the credit bureau. The only thing that'll happen is the 1/12, the 5% interest that you would have paid in those payments. They add that to the balance. No other repercussions. And then when you just pick your payments back up, and no harm, no foul. If you want to pay it off rapidly, do that. No problem there either. You can prepay off any loan. This is so flexible. I really can't wait to be able to explain it to you, because it's way cool. It really works. Okay, Suzanne, just checking. So this could be used instead of a tax-free savings account. Yep. And unlike any savings account or tax-free savings account, it comes with a death benefit. So let's say this is one of the reasons why we say this is way better than a 529 plan for saving for an education. And you could put any purpose on this you want, because what I'm about to say applies no matter what it is. Let's say it's for an education. You're saving up to put junior through college. Okay, so you start saving up. Let's say you're saving in a 529 plan, or you're saving in a private family bank. In the 529 plan, you save up for a few years and you've got $10,000 in there. Unfortunately, you die in a car accident. What does Junior have for his education? $10,000, which isn't enough to buy a college education at most colleges. Let's say you do the same thing in a private family bank. How much do you have? Let's say you have $10,000 in there and you die. What does Junior get? It's the death benefit. His college is paid for. So whatever purpose you put your bank to, it auto-completes whatever that purpose is. And no tax-free savings account is going to do that. No other account, no 401k, IRA, no other type of savings vehicle. Yeah, that's another thing. Good that Tony reminded me of that. And all this is in the course. I'm just giving you a sort of a Cliff Notes version. But there's a thing called the FAFSA, which if you've got any kids you're trying to get into college and you would like them to get grants and scholarships, you'll fill out this FAFSA, which is the free application for financial aid. You have to count money in a 529 plan. You have to report it, and it diminishes to some extent the eligibility for grants and scholarships. This money in a private family bank is not reportable. So you could have $100,000, $200,000 in that account ready for Junior's college, and it doesn't show up, so Junior still can qualify for maximum scholarships and grants. So it's just, like I said, we can't even begin to cover in this presentation the advantages. Sometimes, when we first started doing this, we said, we probably shouldn't tell them it's a private family bank. We should just say we got a whiz-bangy thing so that we don't. But, I like to be transparent and tell you it's not only real, it's a real mechanism, but it is a really cool mechanism that really works. So any other questions? We're getting close. We try not to go beyond 90 minutes just so you have some of your evening left. This is a Friday night. You could be doing other things than hanging out with an old guy, finding out about finances. But hey, the whole quality of all the rest of your life depends on getting a handle on this area of your life. Today I was thinking about it. What is the goal of this? And I came up with a word. I kept trying to think of what's a good way to express it. And I came up with the word you land. I want to help everybody get to you land. It's all about you. It's what kind of life do you want to get to? What do you want that out there? We want you to have a life of options, not have-tos. And so for you to get to you land, where you have those opportunities to be fully you, whether that's working at a job you love or working for a nonprofit or not working at all, just playing with the grandkids, painting, portraits in beautiful locations, whatever that means to you, moving to Belize and living for a fraction of what it costs to live in America. All those options become available in you land. So we're going to try to help you get to you land. Okay. So we're pretty much there. Derek, I appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I try to, keep it light, even though it's a lot of technical stuff, but keep it light. And like I said, we are willing and ready to help you do this if it's what you want to do. And we won't, no arm twisting, no pressure, no nothing like that, because we just want it to be good for you or, wish you well. That's the way we do this. Does it work for senior citizens older than I am? Yes, as I said, in the legacy mode, it can, where you're building it not necessarily, like, for example, the policy wouldn't be on the senior's life, it would be on one of their children's lives, or maybe a policy on each of the children, the amount divided up. And here's what we teach to set up. And we'd want you to teach the children to do this, is that, okay, here's how this is going to work. Let's just say it's me. I'm setting it up on my son, Adam. Okay, Adam, here's the deal. I'm going to buy the policy. I'm going to do the policy on your life. You're the insured person. So you're younger, healthier. You're going to get good rates. It's going to build great, good death benefit. Everything's going to be cool. I own the policy. I'm making the premium payments. I own it. I control all the money. I can designate beneficiaries. And for tax purposes, to start this out, I designate myself as the beneficiary. That's what works best for the tax regulations. But don't worry, that's not how it ends up. Okay, so I'm paying the premiums on Adam's life. If Adam were to die, yes, I would get the death benefit. But that's not what's almost certainly going to happen. He's younger than me. He's going to live longer than me. So at some point in time, I go walk with Jesus. And so what happens? The insurance company, their default thing to do, unless your will or a trust says something different, they will go to the person whose life was being insured, my son Adam, and say, here, you are now the owner of the policy. Do you want to continue paying premiums? Okay, from Adam's perspective, it would then be, okay, do I want to continue putting wealth in my bank? Do I want to continue building my bank? Because now it's my bank. And so he would make the decision if he wanted to continue. And if you see how these policies perform in once you get out there past the first few years, he would want to continue putting money if there was any way he could. But he could turn it off. He could turn it to zero and not have to pay any premium, and the cash value in his bank would continue to grow. So that's his option. He can also now designate new beneficiaries. So here's the plan I set up with Adam. Adam, when you do this, set up your children as beneficiaries, and this is what you teach them. When you get the death benefit, use it to start a policy on yourself with your kids as the beneficiaries, and you teach them to use the death benefit when it comes along to build banks for their kids. And you know what happens? A death benefit is an instant, massive increase in your net worth that you're passing on to the next generation. So if you have a $200,000 death benefit, for example, that means when you do pass, your family, your beneficiaries get $200,000 more than they would have if you didn't have this plan. Okay, so that $200,000 now gets multiplied into new policies that have bigger death benefits on them, and they add up to a lot more than $200,000 death benefits that go to the next generation, who can now probably their aggregate death benefits well over $1 million. And so the generations are getting wealthier on the insurance company's money. You never earned that. The insurance company does it. So it's like, why wouldn't we want to do that for our generation? So that's what I call the legacy application. It's not so much about me and the money that that the death benefit's going to click in when I die. I'm not thinking now of my kids. I'm thinking of my grandkids. Okay, so that's that application. So it could work. And if you're in that situation, or you know somebody in that situation, or if your parents are in that situation, you might want to talk to them about doing this and having the policy be on you. They pay for it. It comes to you when they pass, and then you've got it to apply down through your generations. It really is a cool application that there is literally no other way to do. And if you think, well, how about term insurance? I can tell you, and if you read the Banker's Secret book, you already read this, less than 2% of term policies ever pay a death benefit. Why? Because the premiums get more and more, and then obscenely and prohibitively expensive as you get anywhere close to the age where you might actually die. So what happens? People can't afford them out there. They just can't afford to keep them. So they drop them. And what did they do? They paid the insurance company thousands of dollars over the years and got nothing out of it. Nothing. The insurance companies love these policies. They make tons of money, never have to pay out a death benefit. So that's not really going to work well for this application. Plus, there's no cash value to work with. There's no bank. So this is simply the best application to accomplish something you can't accomplish any other way. That's why we're so excited about it. How soon do you get access? Like I said, if you made a premium payment today, 3 weeks from now, basically, you could access the money that's in your cash value from that and all previous. And what happens is you're not getting the money out of your cash value. Remember I said the money stays in there earning interest and dividends? That's because what happens is the insurance company goes, oh, you want $5,000? Okay, you got $10,000 in your bank. We'll just attach $5,000 of that as collateral for this loan, but we won't take it from your cash value. So your cash value gets to stay in there cooking. And meanwhile, you pay this debt back, and your interest charges are getting smaller and smaller and smaller, but inside they're getting bigger and bigger and bigger on what you're growing. You always win that. And if you get the course, we will show you on one of the the Thursday Night Live classrooms. We have a spreadsheet that shows dramatically how much more you earn inside than you ever pay in interest charges. it's a system. It really works. How soon do you get access to the system? I see, Derek. Okay. Immediately. Okay, you ordered, you're going to get emails that are going to get your credentials and get you in there. You'll be looking at it tonight. You'll be seeing our smiling faces. And by the way, I'm probably about 35 pounds heavier on the video than Tony still looks as fabulous as he did back then. But I just decided that I needed to get a little healthier so I could keep playing with my grandkids. And so I'm much more handsome now than I was then. But the information is still just as valid. So yes, you'll be in there today, and you'll be able to look at all of it, any of it. And I will really tell you who's getting the system. Don't bypass the bonus stuff. Don't think of it as, oh, well, that's just bonuses. Seriously, the bonus lessons are meat. They're important. And so do those audios, download them, put them on your phone, take them with you if you exercise or listen to on the way to work. There's good information in those audio lessons, in those bonus lessons. Okay, your access emails have gone out to you, Derek. So you're tapped into mission control right now. We know everything that's going on with this. And welcome. Thank you for trusting us to take this step. We appreciate it a lot. And we're going to have fun together. Seriously, we're going to have a good time together going through this. And you're going to really be able to feel like, hey, I think I got a handle on things. I had one guy seriously wrote me an email, and he said, I'm so excited. I did my plan, and I'm only $1,000 a month behind what I'll need when I retire. He said, I thought it was way worse than that. I'm happy that it's only $1,000. I can do this. I can close that gap. You need to know. You need to know. You may figure this out, and you may find, hey, I'm in good shape. I got enough money that adds up to enough. You may find it's a few $100s, and maybe it's $1,000. But then the rest of the course teaches you how to close that gap. So when you get there, yeah, it's bright. It's better to find out now than to get there and go, oh my gosh, Social Security is only how much? And here's the reality. If you make around $55,000 a year, you're going to get about 40% of that in Social Security, okay, at full retirement age. If you make more than that, you're going to start getting less and less of a percentage until if you are making 150, 200, if you're making bigger dollars, you're going to only get like a quarter of your income in Social Security benefits. So you're going to need to fill in the other 60 to 75%. And that's what we're talking about filling in here. And that's what we're going to help you with. Okay. All right. We're actually 8 minutes over, but this has been really good. Appreciate the questions. Appreciate the ability to, fill in the blanks for you. So like I said, click that. You got till midnight on Sunday, and it's not a trick. We just want to be able to start the class on Monday from a week with the online classroom and everything. And I'm not, trying to give you scary, you'll never get another chance. Yeah, we'll have this out there again, but it almost certainly will be at least at its full price. So anyway, it's a good time to do it. And we hope you give us a shot at this. Okay, anything else? Any other questions? I'll hang if you need me to hang, if you need me to answer another question. But you got the goods now. You got a pretty good idea of what we're doing here, and the superpower nuclear generator at the middle of it, and it can work for you. Okay. Looks like I've exhausted you. So thank you so much for your time. But I wanna make sure that you take this opportunity. It's a great deal. I mean, just the online classrooms have a $1,000 each value as a 2-for-1 sale. We should be $1,000 a piece, but we'll overlook that. The value to your life could be 10, 20 or more $1,000 a year improvement between now and your job optional income age. And right now you can get it for just $297. You get full access immediately. And the first online event is Thursday at this same time frame. And we're looking at maybe moving things back an hour for the West Coast people, but that's still in an advisory committee right now. So click the Get Smart button now. An order page will pop up in another window, but that will not be available. And you will get emails. You're thinking, oh, I gotta lock down this URL and write it. No, you don't have to do that. You'll get some follow-up emails between now and Sunday night to help you not miss this opportunity. But I really say take it now. Get in there now and start working on it now. And you always have that money back guarantee. So before we say goodbye, I promised you a couple of bonuses for hanging with me this long. And the links to these 2 free bonuses, remember all the slides from the presentation and the Calculate Your Debt Payoff form, they're available on the order form page. So you do have to click the Get Smart button now to open up that page, then scroll all the way to the bottom and be sure to read everything along the way. And then when you get to the bottom of that page, there are 2 buttons down there to download the 2 bonuses. So you can have those and they're free. So go to the order page, scroll to the bottom down there by the privacy policy and all that stuff. And it's right down there, 2 buttons for the bonuses. 30-day money back guarantee, no risk for taking the class. The only risk is that you don't take it and you don't change your life. So I appreciate it. I want to thank you very much for the time you've given us this evening. I enjoyed being with you. I hope you enjoyed being with me, and we'll see you next time.